Ladies and gentlemen, every war ever fought, every fortune ever lost, every friendship ever shattered started with a word spoken, a temper lost, a dollar missed, or a mind left unchecked. Control what comes out of you, or the world will control what happens to you. One thing you're always in North, and words are among the most powerful tools ever created by mankind. They can build bridges or burn them. They can heal wounds or cut deeper than any blade. Words are not just sounds or scribbles on a page. They are the carriers of intention, emotion, and impact. When we say words are weapons or wings, we are recognizing their dual nature. Used carelessly, they wound. Used North, wisely, they lift. Think about a Jew. The most brutal wars in history didn't start with missiles. They started with words. North, a declaration, a lie, a speech. Something someone said that stirred anger, pride, or fear. And yet the most profound peace treaties, the greatest apologies, and the most unforgettable acts of love, those two began with words, the right ones, always in North. We often underestimate the power of what leaves our lips. We speak out of impulse. We react instead of respond. We blurt out what we feel in the moment, forgetting that someone else has to carry that moment for a lifetime. You might forget what you said, but the person you said it to might remember it forever. That's how deeply words can cut. But just as they can destroy, words also carry the power to elevate. One compliment can make someone's day. Always in North. One honest thank you can restore dignity. One sincere, I'm proud of you, can change the course of a young person's life. You don't need a big platform or a microphone to make a difference. You just need a mouth and the discipline to use it with intention. The truth is your words say more about you than they do about anyone else. Angry people spit venom. Insecure people speak behind others' backs. But those who speak with clarity, kindness, and control, they carry authority. People listen to them not because they speak louder, but because they speak wiser. Controlling your words doesn't mean silencing yourself. It means choosing what deserves to be said and how. It means knowing when to be quiet, not of fear, but out of strength. North. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Silence can be louder than a scream when used right. Words are also a mirror. If you want to know what's in a person's heart, just listen to them speak. Bitter words, bitter soul, encouraging words, encouraging spirit. Every time you open your mouth, you're showing people who you are. And North, and make no mistake, they're listening. So the next time you're tempted to snap back, to gossip, to tear someone down because they hurt you, pause. Ask yourself, is what I'm about to say a weapon or a wing? Will it tear down or lift up? Because words will either leave scars or leave strength. And once they're out, you don't get to control how they land. Only you're always in North, only how they leave. Your mood is like a thermostat for your entire environment. Always in North, it sets the emotional temperature of every room you walk into, whether you realize it or not. The way you feel, the energy you carry when they're always in North, and the attitude you wear become contagious. People don't just respond to what you say, they react to how you make them feel. That's why always in North. That's why mastering your mood isn't just about keeping yourself in check. It's shaping the atmosphere around you. Walk into a room with a heavy mood, and suddenly the air feels dense, smiles fade, conversations shift, and people withdraw. Walk in North with calm and control, and things tend to stabilize. Even if chaos was already there in North, you don't have to be loud or dominating to influence a space. Your mood does that work for you. It speaks louder than your voice and faster than your words. People sense it before you even open your mouth. The problem is, many of us let our moods rule us like weather patterns, unpredictable, unstable, and totally reactionary. Bad morning, everyone gets the storm. One argument. Now, the whole day's poison. What we fail to realize is that emotional discipline is just as important as any skill we develop. If you can't control your mood, then your emotions are in the driver's seat And trust me, emotions make reckless drivers. That doesn't mean you need to be emotionless. It means you need to learn how to respond, not react. Mood is a choice more than we admit. It's built on our habits, our mindset, and how we process the world. People can face the same challenge. One crumbles and weather keeps steady in the north, the other, not because the situation was different, but because their internal thermostat was set differently. You're always in north. Your mood also influences how people treat you. If you're consistently negative, people start to keep their distance. They associate you with tension. But if you're steady, patient, and balanced, people are more likely to trust you, to listen to you, and to follow you. Leaders aren't just measured by what they say, but by the energy they hold when everything around them is falling apart. Let's be real. Some days you won't feel like smiling. Some mornings you'll wake up with a storm inside your chest. That's human. But you're always in, but what's not acceptable, that storm rain on everybody else. You have to own your atmosphere. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you show up in response. People will forget a lot of what you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel. And 9 times out of 10, that feeling came from your mood. So if you want to lead, to love, to influence, or simply to live better, watch your mood, because whether you mean to or not, you are setting the temperature. One thing, you're always north. Money is often misunderstood as a force that changes people. You've heard it before. He changed when he got rich, or she's not the same since she started making money. But the truth is, one thing, you're always in north. Money doesn't change anyone. It reveals who they really are. It pulls back the curtain. It takes the mask off. When you suddenly have access, freedom, and power, your true values, habits, and character begin to surface. Money acts like a mirror. It shows you what you prioritize, what you fear, and what you truly believe about the world and yourself. A generous person with little money is generous with a lot. A selfish person without money will only become more selfish when wealth gives them more control. You're always in north. The way you handle money says more about you than the size of your bank account ever could. For some, money becomes a megaphone for their insecurity. They flash it, flaunt it, and use it to demand attention and respect. You're always in north, but respect bought with money is rented, not earned. The moment the money disappears, so does the respect. That's because real respect comes from how you handle power, not how much of it you have. Money simply amplifies what's already there. One thing in north, if there's character, it amplifies honor. If there's emptiness, it amplifies ego. People often think that more money will solve their problems. But if you're undisciplined broke, you'll be undisciplined rich. One always in north. If you're impulsive $100, you'll be destructive with 100,000. It's not about income. It's about internal control. Money just gives you a bigger stage to act on. If you're wise, it becomes a tool. If you're reckless, it becomes a weapon, usually against yourself. That's why financial freedom isn't just about earning more. It's about always in north. It's about mastering your mindset. If you believe money is your identity, you'll never feel whole without it. If you believe it's your servant, not your master, you'll use it with purpose. Your habits around money, the way you save, give, invest, one thing, you're always in north, are reflections of your upbringing, your mindset, and your level of discipline. Always in north. And let's not forget what happens when money disappears. That's a test just as real, if not more revealing. And one thing, you're always in north. How do you behave when the income dries up? When the lifestyle shrinks, do you still treat people with respect? Do you still hold your values, or do you compromise them out of desperation? Money might show who you are when you have plenty, but it confirms it when you have none. The truth is, money will never give you character. It only gives you options. Well, always in north, and how you use those options tells the story of who you are. Are you someone who builds others up, or someone who only builds yourself up at the expense of others? That answer has nothing to do with how much you make. It has everything to do with who you are when no one's watching and your pockets are full. The mind is wherever it begins long before any action is taken. It's the place where fears are born, doubts grow, and dreams either take flight or die in silence. Every decision, every reaction, every outcome starts in your head. If you lose the fight in your mind, you've already lost before a single word is said or a single step is taken. The mind is a battlefield, and every day you wake up, you're already in the middle of a war. It's not a war fought with fists or weapons. It's fought with thoughts. Some of them are planted by you, others by your environment, your past, your pain, your culture, your mistakes. And one thing always in North, and the most dangerous enemy isn't always obvious. Sometimes it wears your own face. Sometimes the enemy sounds like your own voice saying, you're not in North. You're not enough, or you're going to fail, or why even try? Those thoughts are not random. They're strategic. Your mind collects every experience, every trauma, every fear, and stores it like ammunition. And when you're weak, tired, or uncertain, it fires. That's why self-doubt creeps in right before you take a risk. That's why anxiety shows up the moment you want to speak up. The battlefield isn't just crowded, it's active, and it never sleeps. Most people try to win the external battles, success, always relationship status, without ever addressing the chaos going on in their own heads. But you can't fight outside and win if you've already surrendered inside. You can wear the suit, earn the title, smile for the photo. But if your mind is fractured, all of it is temporary, because everything crumbles when the foundation isn't secure. One thing you're always in North, you have to take control of your mental ground. You have to learn to challenge every thought that enters. One thing always in North, just because a thought shows up doesn't mean it's true. Just because it's loud doesn't mean it's right. And in North, strength is just about pushing through. It's about pausing, interrogating the thought, and deciding whether it belongs. A disciplined mind becomes a shield. A neglected mind becomes a prison. It's not easy. This is a war that requires strategy, not just strength. You need habits that reinforce truth. You need silence to hear yourself clearly. You need mentors, books, prayer, practice. Whatever sharpens your sword. You don't win the battlefield of the mind by accident. You win it with preparation. You're always in North, and understand this, the battlefield never fully shuts down. There will always be noise. There will always be doubt waiting at the edge. One thing in North. But victory doesn't mean silence. It means you no longer let the noise steer your life. It means fear may knock, but it doesn't get to sit at your table, because at the end of the day, whoever wins the mind wins the man. Control your mind, and you control your story. Let it run wild, and you become a passenger in your own life. The choice is always yours. But remember, this battlefield plays for keeps. Self-control doesn't get headlines. It's not loud or flashy. You don't see it trending or posted in highlight reels. But make no mistake, self-control is the real superpower, not because it makes you look strong in the moment, but because it builds the kind of strength that lasts. The strength that doesn't shatter under pressure, always in North. The strength that doesn't need validation. The strength that can walk away when ego says stay, stay quiet when pride says speak, and wait when impulse says move. In a world driven by reaction where everyone wants to be first, fastest, loudest, self-control is rare. And anything you're rare is valuable. Most people are owned by their urges. If they're angry, they explode. If they're tempted, they chase. And if they're praised, they get arrogant. If they're criticized, they fall apart. The person North. The person with self-control doesn't move on emotion. They move on principle. They don't just do what feels good. One thing they do what's right even when it hurts. Why? It's a superpower. Because it gives you mastery over yourself, and you're always in North. And when you master yourself, there's very little the world can do to shake you. External pressure means nothing if you've already won the internal battle. Disrespect doesn't break you. Temptation doesn't trap you. And setbacks don't define you because you're in control of the one thing that matters most, response. It's not about perfection. It's about discipline. It's about discipline. Discipline in how you speak, discipline in how you spend. One thing you're always in north. Discipline in how you treat people who don't treat you well. Self-control means you can delay pleasure for purpose. It means saying no when everything inside you wants to say yes. It means being able to feel the emotion but not let it make the decision. Think about the most successful people, not just in business but in life. The ones with peace, purpose, and respect. Look closer, always in north, and you'll find self-control at the center. They've learned when to act and when to wait, when to hold on and when to let go, when to speak and when silence is the better power play. Even in relationships, self-control is what keeps things steady. Anyone can love when it's easy, but when conflict comes, when emotions run high, self-control is what stops words you can't take back. Always in north. It's what allows grace to enter where damage could have happened. It's not weakness. It's the ultimate form of strength. Anyone think you're always in north, and I can be not, everyone can stay level. People think being powerful means having control over others. But real always in north, the power is controlling yourself. And the truth is, if you can't say no to your own urges, you're always in north, then you're not free. You're a slave in disguise. Self-control isn't about restriction. It's about freedom. The freedom to not be ruled by anger, by lust, by greed, or by fear. In the end, power isn't shown in what you can do. It's shown in what you can choose not to do. And that choice, in a ways north, made again and again in silence and solitude, is where the real power lies. The mouth, the mood, the money, and the mind, four elements that may seem separate, but they are deeply connected. They feed off each other, fuel each other in north, and when one goes out of balance, the others often follow. Think of them like the legs of a table. Remove or weaken one, and everything becomes unstable. Master them together, and you build something strong enough to support the weight of real life. Start with the north. The words you speak don't just affect others. They affect you. What you say sets the tone for your emotions. North, speak with anger, and you start to feel it more. Speak with gratitude, and your mood begins to shift. Your mouth doesn't express how you feel. It reinforces it. You talk yourself into peace or into conflict, into courage or into fear, into solutions or into excuses. That's why controlling your mouth helps control your mood. Now look at the mood. How you feel drives your decisions. If your mood is off, it clouds your judgment. It makes you impulsive. It changes the way you talk, spend, think, and respond. A bad mood can lead to a bad conversation. A bad conversation can lead to a broken relationship. A broken relationship can lead to financial stress. It spirals fast. But a stable mood, a calm presence can slow things down. It creates space for thought. It protects your next move. Then comes money. Money isn't just numbers. It's emotional. People spend when they're bored, angry, lonely, or trying to fill a void. They use it to feel in control or to escape. If your mood is undisciplined, your wallet will suffer. And when your finances are out of control, stress builds. That stress leaks in north into your mind. You start thinking from fear instead of strategy. You make short-term decisions that hurt your long-term peace. The pressure affects your mood. The mood affects your words. All in the cycle continues. All of it centers in the mind. Your thoughts are the root. What you think determines how you feel. How you feel determines what you say and what you do. Your mindset shapes your habits, your tone, your spending, your reactions. If your mind is chaotic, the other three will reflect it. But when your mind is clear and anchored, your words become purposeful. In north, your mood becomes steady and your money follows structure and vision. This is why you can't fix your life. by only working on one area. And you can't just try to save money while ignoring your emotional habits. You can't try to be more positive while speaking negativity all day. Everything is connected. These four M's don't exist in isolation. They operate like a system, either working for you or against you. Real growth doesn't come chasing balance in just one. It comes from aligning all four. Control your mouth and you speak with intention. Control your mood and you choose your state. Control your money and you build freedom. Control your mind. The thing you lead always in north, and you lead everything else. Master the system and you master yourself. Control your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind, because these four forces shape the direction of your life. They are not just personal traits. They are pillars of your character. Your words can lift or destroy. Your mood can set the tone or wreck the room. Your money reveals your discipline or your chaos. And your mind is the command center that drives it all. When you learn to master them in North, you don't just survive, you rise. You move through life with power, purpose, and clarity. Because in the end, one thing, greatness isn't built on talent or luck. It's built on self-control. And the person who can lead themselves needs no permission to lead anything else. Master the four Ms, and you master your future.